What's up, guys? RascalRyan521 here, and today we are going to be doing a little bit of kind of like a discussion, my thoughts video on The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 8, How It's Gotta Be. I don't normally do these type of videos, but this episode I really had to get my thoughts on. So let me start out by saying I apologize for any of those of you, for any one of you that saw my my Shiva's death mock. Well, I should say this is going to contain spoilers, this thoughts video, obviously. I shouldn't have to say that, but for any of you that saw my Shiva's death mock video that I released just the other night, at the end of it, I kind of had like a mini rant about The Walking Dead lately, saying, I'm excited for the mid-season finale tonight, but, it's going to end on a cliffhanger. I know it's, there's going to be some big events, but overall they're going to leave a lot of it to episode 9, and I want to actually apologize for that. Because that wasn't the case. In my personal opinion, this is the best episode they've done since the Season 7 premiere with Glenn and Abraham's death. This episode was phenomenal. And I'm not just saying that because stuff exploded and we saw the destruction of Alexandria and, the destruction of, or kind of the taking over of the kingdom and everything. I'm saying that because this episode did a fantastic job at, tension building, I thought. They did a really great job at kind of setting up the stakes, or setting up the the events of the second half of the season, and just overall it kind of brought all the main plot lines to kind of this head. And yeah, they left on a cliffhanger with some parts of it, but I feel like with the main story we ended on a decent, I feel like with the main story we ended on a really good moment, a really good point. So before I dive into the Carl stuff, we're going to just kind of quickly breeze over my thoughts on the rest of the episode. I thought the stuff with Maggie on the hilltop and the side of the road, that was probably my second favorite part of the episode, of course, behind the Alexandria stuff. I thought that was incredible. I just thought Simon, or Stephen August Simon, just does such a fantastic job playing this really a villain, but you can tell he's having so much fun with it, and I hope they keep him around for as long as possible, because that guy has got some serious acting chops. I swear to God, that guy is amazing. One of the best villains they've had in the series for sure. I really like the stuff with the kingdom. I thought I liked Gavin in this episode. I thought he was a very he's one of those savior characters that a lot of people are debating. Are they going to kind of try to, weed him over to Rick's side, because he seems like he kind of doesn't want to be doing what he's doing. But I thought he kind of did a really good job balancing the fact that he can be reasonable with the fact that he has a job to do and he will get it done. So I like that stuff. I kind of like Ezekiel. I really liked Ezekiel's plan, sacrificing himself for the group, basically, telling, I can't remember what exactly he told Carol, but basically, giving them an opportunity to all, hightail it out of the kingdom and get away, while he basically stays behind as the prisoner of war, I guess. So yeah, I thought all that stuff was great. I liked the dialogue between Aaron and Enid, and that one in the car, I thought was really well done. I liked that. I thought it was, you can kind of tell a little bit of relationships growing there, or not a relationship, but kind of like a friendship, you know what I mean? And I like that. I'm really interested to see, I'm pretty sure Enid, the girl, or the woman she shot and killed, I think that was the leader of the Oceanside group, if I'm not mistaken, so I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to play out. But yeah, I think that's really all the major plots. Oh, like I said, the Alexandria is my favorite part of the episode, so we're just going to dive right into that, covering everything else. I really liked everything. There were some scenes that maybe dragged on a little bit too long, but overall, I thought they utilized the hour and a half of runtime extremely well. With the Alexandria stuff, so I absolutely loved Negan and Rick's, Negan, and we'll get to the Negan and Rick stuff, but I absolutely love Negan and Carl's confrontation outside of the gate. I thought it was fantastic. Some of Carl's line delivery, I'm not gonna lie, was a little bit iffy. I don't know if the actor is fully there yet, but for the most part, for 60 or 80% of it, it was all fantastic. And the music in that scene was they really used, they kind of had a Carl theme going throughout the episode. Anytime Carl had an important moment, they kind of had this slow piano theme going, and I really liked that. I thought they used that really well. But yeah, the Negan and Carl stuff was fantastic. The dialogue, him wanting to sacrifice himself, knowing he was, of course, spoiler alert, already bitten. I love that. And I loved Carl kind of, giving all the other people a way to get out, by basically saying, I'll stay behind, we just have to survive the night, we only have to give up the community for now, we'll take it back, we just have to survive the night. I like that stuff. I like that I like that Michonne trusts him too, and she's giving him this leadership role. So just everything about that was really cool. I loved all of that. I like Carl kind of, going through the streets of Alexandria, just throwing off these smoke bombs, trying to get them to lose his trail. The destruction of Alexandria was really sad to see, but also really cool, with the fires and everything blazing in the night sky. But let's get to the big ending, of course. Carl finally gets into the or actually, wait, before we get into the ending, one more thing I gotta say. The Rick and Negan fight was badass. Like, seriously, the very final scene, the Rick and Negan fight, and Rick and Carl at the gate, the 3 best moments of the episode for sure. I don't know if I can rank the 3, but those were for sure the 3 best moments that I'll probably watch continuously on YouTube until episode 9 comes out. But yeah, so we see, of course, Rick finally gets to Alexandria. I have no idea what happened to the garbage people, by the way. They just, disappeared for some reason. But, so we get to Alexandria. Rick gets there in the sewer. He sees Sadiq. Carl basically says something like, "I brought him here," and then we pan over to Carl, and that's how it happened. And he lifts up his shirt, and he's bitten. Now, I first heard this rumor that Carl might die back in 3-4 weeks ago, and I was really annoyed by it. I didn't want it to be true because Carl, obviously in the comics, has such a big role, and he's such a major player. Going forward into the New Beginning and the Whisperer War. I'm not a comic reader, but I do kind of keep up to date on what happens in the comics, just kind of the general stuff, so I kind of know where the show is headed. But yeah, so I know he kind of has a major role, and that's why I was really bummed out to hear, he's just gonna die. But I gotta say that the blow is definitely softened by the way it was executed, because the rumor was that Carl was actually gonna get stabbed by a random savior, and then just kind of die bleeding on the street, and then Rick was going to find his body in episode 9 or something like that. If they did it like that, that would be extremely lame. But I'm glad they did it like this. I'm glad, that it was something that happened a few episodes ago. Carl had, and then they kind of wrote it so Carl has this chance to shine. I don't usually like when they build up characters right before they kill them. Like Spencer, I thought was needlessly built up as this. Ooh, Spencer's this guy. He hates Rick. He has to make a point of saying that every single episode. I hate Rick. I'm gonna rebel against Rick. And then finally it all comes to a head, and Negan kills him. It's they didn't have to build it up. They could have just had the one conversation between Spencer and Negan, and then just have Negan kill Spencer. I thought that. They didn't need to build that up. But I feel like with this one, they needed to build it up. Give Carl kind of this big redemption arc. I mean, not that he needed to really redeem himself for anything, but kind of give him this arc, let him not really sacrifice himself, but, basically he knows he's a dead man walking, so he might as well, do the best he can to divert the saviors from his friends. Offers himself as basically a, what's the word? Martyr, isn't it? Somebody that dies. I think martyr's the word. I'm not entirely sure. But basically, offer himself as as a casualty, so his friends can live. And I like that. And also, what I liked is that it's not because it's a walker bite and he didn't die getting stabbed like the rumor was. That kind of opens it up for him to have a Bob death. You guys remember Bob back in season 5? He died basically. He got bit or had a walker bite. And he kind of got to say his final goodbyes to all the characters on his deathbed and everything, and his death was definitely one of the better ones they've done in the show, because it was one of the more heartwarming deaths, or even kind of Jim's death way back in season 1. I like it when they do walker bite deaths, because it kind of gives the characters a chance to say goodbye and everything, and it makes the death a lot more, sadder and more impactful for the characters. And I cannot wait to see how Rick reacts to, or how Rick is going to react to Carl's death going into the second half of season 8. God, it's going to be insane. That's another thing I'm worried about. I'm kind of happy. I like that they did it like this, but I'm also worried because I don't want it to feel because what does Rick have to fight for then? I mean, yeah, he has Michonne, he has his people, and he has Judith, but Carl was always his main moral compass. I mean, that's it's just going to be so weird going forward. I don't know. It's just going to be weird. But I am excited to see how it plays out. I think they are going to pull it off, I feel. I'm really curious to see how And also, I'm also kind of curious, there's been some controversy after the episode aired that apparently it wasn't Chandler Riggs' idea. Like, it's not like he wanted to go to college and he asked them to write him off. Apparently this was Scott Gimple's plan. This was the showrunner's plan, and Carl, like the actor Chandler Riggs, had like just bought a house in Atlanta where they film, and then he gets the news, oh, we're killing you off. And that's, I'm happy with the death for now, but I feel like I'm gonna, if this wasn't something that the actor wanted, I don't know. I feel like if the actor wanted it, they granted it to him, even if the showrunner didn't want to do it. But considering it was the showrunner's idea now, I'm really curious to see what their plan is going forward, because that is really, really weird, given how important the character is in the comics. We'll see if the change was for the better or for the worse, but I gotta say, overall, guys, it was a really action-packed episode. Or not action-packed, I would say tension-filled episode. Lots of moments of dread, kind of harken back to the Season 6 finale a little bit. Overall, I loved it. I thought it was a really decent episode. I think it's, like I said, the best episode they've done since the Season 7 premiere. It's blown everything else from Season 7 and Season 8 out of the water for sure. And, I can always see where they go with the second half of Season 8. And the soundtrack was really good in this episode, too. I forgot to mention, the soundtrack is fantastic. Like I said, the Carl piano theme kind of they had going throughout the episode, I loved it. I thought it, it really, I don't know, it was just a really, it kind of gave Carl some humanity a little bit. Music always helps you get invested in movies and shows and stuff, so... but yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. Let me know what you feel, or how you feel about the death. Do you think it was a mistake? What do you think about the controversy surrounding Chandler Riggs' dad basically coming out and saying that, don't trust AMC or don't trust Scott Gimple because, they basically just 2 weeks before my son's birthday and after he bought a house, they just said we're going to kill you off and take you off the show. So let me know what you think of the controversy down in the comments. Let me know what you think of the episode and everything. I will be replying to all the comments as long as they're reply worthy. But yeah, until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Peace out.